Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 11 of Beer vs. Ivy. I'm your co-host, Simon Russell, brought to you with my best co-host in the world, Jackson Gross. How does it go? Jackson, it's Monday. We got baseball. We got a lot of baseball news that happened. So how we doing?
I'm doing good. That was an awesome intro. Thank you. I didn't realize I was the best co-host ever. So I'll take that 7 days out of the week.
Better than Bruce, and that's a fact.
Whoa! I'll take it. But things are going pretty well. I have been crazy busy. I've been working pretty much every day, doing something. Wrote a breaking news article about Juan Soto. I swear at like midnight or something when it broke. Wrote a breaking news article about the big fish Shohei Ohtani that we'll get into later. Those are up on the TDT website. Been working a ton at Walgreens. It's been crazy. Obviously, holidays are right around the corner, so things are getting crazy. But yeah, things are good. I'm happy talking baseball. Like, I know this is work, but comparatively, like, I'm having fun. This is kind of relaxing for me, so I'm more than excited to be talking some baseball. So, but how are you doing, Cy?
We're doing good. We're in finals week here at college, so kind of tripping about that. Took a math quiz today. Think I did okay on it. I don't really care though, being honest. But just like you, I also wrote a breaking news article about Eduardo Rodriguez joining the Diamondbacks, which I actually really enjoyed writing. I was driving when the news broke, and I'm texting in our group chat, and I'm like, yeah, just give me like 5 minutes, and I got y'all. And I wrote it up real quick. I liked how it turned out. Quick read, but like broke the news. People looked at it, people viewed it, so I thought that was cool. Otherwise, I don't really got much going on. I got a busy weekend coming up. Got a couple concerts I'm going to this weekend, and I got family Christmas this weekend. So I'm just busy, but it's Monday. I'm doing my favorite job, which is talking some baseball. So no complaints.
Yeah, that's awesome. What concerts are you seeing before we get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here today?
The big one I'm seeing Travis Scott in Chicago on Friday. My buddy and I are going up there, and we spent a little bit on our tickets, got some decent seats. So that's the big one.
Yeah,
but
that sounds awesome. I hope you have a great time.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, but now it's time. You all already know why we're here. You know what we're going to talk about first, and that's because the Cubs signed a minor earlier. No, I'm just kidding. It's because the Los Angeles Dodgers have signed Shohei Ohtani to the largest contract in North American sports history. 10 years, $700 million. On the face of it, looks like $70 million per year, but with the deferments in it, it'll be less than that. Plus, with California state taxes, it's going to be closer to like $33 million per year. But yeah, it broke. What was it? Is that yesterday that it broke, or 2 days ago?
Today is Monday. It broke on Saturday. It broke on Saturday.
2 days ago. I think everyone that we were gonna talk about was at work when it happened. But give me your initial reaction when you found out that Shohei was gonna choose the Dodgers.
So I thought it was fake at first. I won't lie. Ken Rosenthal, I got the notification. I'm just sitting in bed or something, and it's just a one sentence from Ken Rosenthal. Shohei Ohtani, 10 years, $700 million via his Instagram. I said, huh? Pull up his Instagram, and I see Shohei Ohtani 5 minutes ago. Long paragraph, and he apologized for taking so long. This absolute gentleman of a man apologized. But also, there was just some pixelated image of the LA Dodgers logo. Like, yeah, I'm a Dodger, basically. And I just thought that was really funny. And I didn't believe it. Then everybody else started tweeting it out. And then the details of the contract came out. It's a full no-trade clause. The deferments, which are insane. He's going to get all $700 million. All that money is confirmed. He is getting every penny. It's just how he gets it is interesting because he made it very clear to Dodgers that he wants his team to keep getting better. Dodgers not be signing his buddy Yoshinobu Yamamoto, which scares me. This team does not need to get any better. That is a lethal 1-4, 1-5, however you want to look at their lineup. Like, it's insane how good Shohei Ohtani is going to make this team as just DH this year, and then next week he starts to pitch. And this is actually the biggest contract for an athlete ever, not just North American history, ever. This is like, it's like $140 million more expensive than the previous biggest contract ever. So it's all insane. But Shohei Ohtani is the best athlete that this planet has ever seen. It's true. Don't fact check me. So he deserves everything.
Yeah, it was wild. I remember I texted you, I think it was Friday night, because we weren't sure, because we were expecting something imminent. And I was at work and I texted you like, hey, text me if Shohei's coming. I can't keep checking my phone. And
I did.
And you texted me like, oh my God, it happened. But then I was like
as soon as news dropped, I texted you in all caps saying Shohei is a Dodger. And
yeah, it was.
You fell to your knees. I know Braden was at work and he fell to his knees. Like, everybody lost it, which was just good. That was how it should be. When you're this big of a name and you basically broke Twitter for like an hour, yeah, you can't complain to that.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, I'm shocked as well. I was expecting it, at least. I was more shocked about the contract, less about the team. I felt like, and the reports coming after that, the Dodgers were always the number one option for Shohei going into free agency. $700 million. Like, I was expecting like 600, maybe 650 at the absolute most, but it's $300 million, just about $300 million more than Mike Trout's extension he signed with the Angels, and it's double the largest free agent contract before that, which was signed by Manny Machado, which was $350 million. So it's wild. That, like you said, that lineup for the Dodgers is going to be ridiculous when you have Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, James Outman, Chris Taylor, Jason Hayward, and Gavin Lux currently projected as the Dodgers lineup 1 through 9. Like, the rich get richer, and we'll get into the other big move. I was just upset because the Cubs were completely in on him. We'll get it a little bit more later, but the Cubs were completely in on him for the entire time. And then to find out later on, they finished fourth, tied for fourth with the Giants, was a little disappointing. But
a lot.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. So, but since we're still obviously on topic about it, why did Shohei pick the Dodgers? What do you think was like the biggest, outside of nearly $750 million in money?
Nearly. That's insane to say that one person's getting paid all this money. Like Shohei, dear Shohei, please give me $100,000, please. I need to pay college off somehow. But why the Dodgers? I think so. Location, I feel like, means a lot. When he moved over here from Japan, went to SoCal right away with the Angels. So he likes the area. He likes what he has developed there. LA is the biggest city that you can be in the U.S. outside of New York or maybe Chicago. And Shohei Ohtani is a big name. He's a big fish, literally. He needs to be in a big city. But the big reason is, look at that team. Look at that team. Look at the success they've had in the past 5-10 years. They're consistently atop the NL West, consistently making it to the NLCS, typically. That team already has perennial MVPs or future MVPs with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Who else am I forgetting? They have Will Smith, who's one of the best catchers in the league. Max Muncy is insane. Just
Jason Hayward had a really good season. Chris Taylor is a reliable guy in that lineup. and they get
James
Gavin Lux back.
James Outman had a sneaky good rookie year. I think he finished third in rookie of the year. Like,
Yeah.
this team is good. Pitching, they're lacking, but they won't be lacking for long because it's the Dodgers. And just St. Louis has to open up the year with 4 games in LA.
Oh,
You're telling me that Lance Lynn is going to have no. You're telling me that this pitching staff is going to have to go through that lineup. We're going to get swept. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Good for Shohei. That team's really good. Them versus the Yankees in the World Series, probably, most likely. I'm not going to book it now because my bias comes into play. But just, It's not fair. Why do the rich get richer?
Yeah, it sucks because we talk about wanting to see the smaller market teams like Minnesota, Cleveland, and Tampa Bay kind of flourish. Milwaukee, I think as a whole, not us specifically, but to see the New York, like all the money the Mets spent last year, what the Yankees just did, and now what the Dodgers just did, but for all the people that are, I think this is also just a big thing of you're also adding in the business of Shohei Ohtani in LA. Like, yes, he was with the Angels, he's still in LA, but he's with the Big Brother club. Like, the Angels have had a storied history. I think they had Nolan Ryan. They've had some incredible players.
Vladimir Guerrero,
Troy
Tim
Gloss.
Salmon, Troy Gloss. I forget Troy Gloss exists.
Yeah, he's a World Series MVP. Joe Madden was their manager at once upon a time. Like, it's had some big names in there.
They had World Series hero Howie Kendrick. Like,
I forgot about Howie Kendrick. I only remember him from the Nationals.
I know, but he wasn't. What was that? They have.
I mean, it's okay. Just like some other notable guys, like Cole Calhoun was there for a bit. Like,
my king.
They've had some really good players over there in LA, but you're talking about the Dodgers. They've had Jackie Robinson. Oh my God, why is that the only white guy I can think of?
Duke Snider.
Who was the guy who hit the home run with the torn ACL?
Keith Hernandez.
Oh yeah, Keith Hernandez, Sandy Koufax, Clayton Kershaw. It's just the list goes on and on of all the great Dodger players, and the Dodgers are synonymous with LA, and they're an international brand. Like, you see people and like rappers and music artists who aren't even like Dodgers fans, and they'll wear the iconic LA hats. So, and now you bring in Shohei Ohtani, who's going to bring a ton of audience from Japan to California, which is a substantial Asian population. I'm not sure exactly the Japanese population, but the Dodgers are going to make back that contract on jerseys, tickets, concessions, international streaming,
everything,
commercials. Like, the Dodgers are going to be, I don't know what their current value is, but I would expect it to go up by a substantial amount with Shohei Ohtani now in tow. So, shout out to the Dodgers. Shout out to them getting one of the best players in baseball, the greatest two-way player of all time in baseball history. It just sucks because, honestly, looking at how he's actually on the Dodgers, I'm kind of mad he didn't go to the Blue Jays. Yeah. Because at least, like, it would have been annoying that he went to Canada, but I could have dealt with it more just to see, like, the Blue Jays finally get over the hump. But it just sucks. It just sucks. But that's not the only thing to talk about with Shohei Ohtani, because this free agency for him was nothing short of a soap opera. Like, first of all, just dealing with all of the secrecy around it. And then I'll start with the Cubs portion of this, and then you can get into some of the rest of the stuff that I might be forgetting.
All right.
So Bob Nightingale, during the winter meetings, comes out with a report that the Cubs were out on Shohei Ohtani. It's like, just what?
All
And then
right.
every other reporter comes in and says, no, the Cubs are still in it. They're not one of the favorites, but they're still in it. I'm like, okay. And so then later on, Jed Hoyer and Bob Nightingale have a stern conversation. Initially, people were thinking it was about Ohtani, but ends up being about Christopher Morel being thrown in trade rumors, I think specifically for Tyler Glasnow. So
Insane.
like, so that was
saying that sentence out loud is actually insane. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I mean, shout out to Jed Hoyer for defending his guy with Christopher Morel. But anyway, so then there was that, and then as we talked about, Shohei said that he would hold it against teams if they leaked that they met. And so, what does the smartest manager in baseball, Dave Roberts, do when he's asked about it? He pauses for a good 4 to 5 seconds before leaking that him and the Dodgers had a meeting. Like, everyone on Twitter was thinking that the Dodgers were done because, like, and I guess looking back at it now, they were probably so confident they were going to get him that it didn't matter if they leaked it anyway. But it's just a crazy day, at least during the winter meetings part. I don't know if you have anything else to add that before we get to the wildest stuff of the Ohtani
yeah,
drama.
I think you hit it home with the winter meetings. Like, I know something came out like, okay, he's not considered in winter meetings. Then Dave Roberts happened, and then Bob almost body slammed Jed. Like, so much happened, but that is nothing to what happened. I'm laughing because it's so entertaining. So Friday, the day before Shohei Ohtani signs, the flight fiasco. I'm just gonna call it that. So for everybody who don't know, reports and rumors started coming out on Twitter that Shohei Ohtani was en route to meet with the Blue Jays in Toronto. Yusei Kikuchi supposedly rented out this whole restaurant of 50 plus to have Ohtani in. Some random reporter out of Canada said press conference 6 p.m. tonight, and people are tracking this flight that supposedly has Shohei Ohtani in it to Toronto. Like, oh my god, it's happening! Shohei Ohtani's going to be a Blue Jay? No way. And then it all came out to not be true, and even John Morosi was like, "Yep, this is happening. Shohei Ohtani's going to be a Blue Jay." And then, out of all reporters, out of all men who could have shot this down, it was our boy Bob Nightingale typing in all caps saying he's not on that plane. He's not going to Toronto. He is in his home with his dog in Southern California. It is not him. And Bob was right. So this brings up the question, Jackson. One, how did so many people believe this? How did so many people think, yes, he is in this flight. He's on this flight. He's going to Toronto. But more importantly, how did Bob Nightingale out of everybody be the one who basically broke the news? Like, who's his insider? How did he know, hours before anybody else knew, that Shohei was not even on that plane? And why did he wait so long to out of the blue?
Wasn't it like a half an hour or 40 minutes after the Heyman report?
Yes. And then that no-name reporter was all in Bob's DMs like, interesting, I think you're wrong. When in reality, Bob was right for once, which is insane. Because Bob has no filter on Twitter. He will get things wrong. He will,
it's become a Twitter joke that anything he says, the exact opposite happens.
Yeah, but instead, John Morosi got it wrong, and Bob Nightingale got it right, which means the other way around. So it's just all insane.
Yeah.
Hashtag free Bob. Bob got his rights back. He's good now. He's on the good side now, which is insane to say.
So, but here's also the other thing with this is that this all was preceded by the DodgerNation.com, and a Mr. JP
Oh, there you go.
Wernstra
I love
saying that
that news
Shohei
release.
was going to sign with the Blue Jays, that it was a done
Right,
deal.
right.
And that was at, I'm not sure exactly the time was, but it was before the flight was confirmed by Morosi. So then that begs the question.
The article, that was like the first real thing that people saw, was this random Dodger Nation article saying that Shohei was on this flight. Wasn't confirmed or denied, but then the reports started to skyrocket, to say the least, which is, this is just insane. But continue.
Yeah,
continue.
and okay, so yeah, no. So then that begs the question, Sai. Who was on the plane to Toronto that everyone was making a big stink about? So it turns out a CBC reporter in Canada, a photographer, was there because obviously if Shohei was on a flight to Toronto, you wanted someone there. It ended up being, of all people, this seems like a perfect like MLB like script writers meeting, and like okay, we're gonna have
and they say there isn't, and they say there is that baseball isn't scripted. It's not scripted, but this really just felt like a simulation almost. But continue.
It's like, all right, we're not going to have Shohei on the plane. Big plot twist. Who's on the plane? It's Canadian businessman Robert Herjavec and his family. Yes, that Robert Herjavec, who's on Shark Tank.
The guy from Shark Tank.
And when I saw that, and I'll quote him, and with that, I was out.
Insane.
So
it
was a wild day, and for whatever reason, the article about Shohei signing with the Blue Jays is still up. That's why I was able to tell you all about it. I don't know why it's still online. It should be taken down at this point.
Like, come on, it's by the team that signed him that said it's just all insane.
But yeah, it some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen in free agency. This easily tops the John Heyman arson judge from last year. That was really funny last year, but yeah, no. So moving on, we have to now talk about the teams that were left at the altar for the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes. And we got to start with his first love, Los Angeles Angels. What a bad day for Angels fans. Like,
terrible day.
Not only do you lose Ohtani, you lose him to your crosstown rival. I know some Angel fans aren't like as into it as like Mets and Yankees fans are, and Cubs and White Sox, and maybe to a certain extent Cardinals and Royals fans. I said, but yeah, so like, but still, for those who are seeing Ohtani go to the big brother club in the Dodgers, you lose him for nothing. You never make the playoffs with him and Mike Trout. You bought at the deadline, depleted your farm system, and DFA'd everyone, I think, except CJ Cron from the trade deadline. So it's just it's a rough day. It was a rough day for Angels fans. I feel for y'all. You had two of the best players in baseball history, and you couldn't build a team around them. You made contract with Anthony Rendon, so many other pitchers. And it just had horrible injury luck between Ohtani and Trout. I just feel bad for y'all because it's rough. It's rough out there for Angels fans right now. If you see an Angels fan, give them a hug. They deserve it.
Give them more than a hug. Hug's not going to do anything for them. If I think right now the Angels could do one thing besides actually signing Shohei Ohtani, would be not signing Anthony Rendon to that huge old contract. And if I were the Angels, if I were in that front office, sorry Angels fans, but why is Mike Trout still there? Why are you guys wasting his talents? Because you're not competing. You're still not competing. I know that now plan B is like, oh, they can go get Blake Snell. They can go get all these other free agents. I'm sorry.
Who's going to want to come there now?
Who's coming there? Is Shohei there? No, he's not. So is Mike Trout there? Yeah, but Like, there's those fans are out there that are just like, oh, what if they trade Mike Trout to the Dodgers? At this point, they should. Free Trout, free Ohtani. Angels are a probably franchise, which sucks because I low key am an Angels fan on the down low. Like I do like the Angels. I've liked the Angels for a minute because Albert went there, so legit reasons. But like, come on, this is sad to be an Angels fan. Like, it's not just like, oh, no Shohei, we can still compete. The Astros are better than you. The Rangers are better than you. And the Mariners are better than you. Who are you
And
competing with?
you're only better than the A's because you're better by the A's by default. Like, and just a quick thing, looks like ESPN will televise Shohei Ohtani's first 2 games as a Dodger in Seoul, in South Korea, on March 20th and 21st. So, business opportunities, get more exposure for the in Korea for Shohei Ohtani as well, and the MLB as a whole. So, it's it's a big thing there. But yeah, like you were saying, awful day for Angels fans. It's going to be a rough couple of years, and they're just going to have to try and build up the farm system, see what Logan O'Hoppe can do. Didn't they call up somebody else?
Nolan Shondell.
Nolan Shanuel, that's right.
The first round pick from last year's draft. Insane.
So it's going to be some rebuilding years. I think it would be for the best if they do trade Mike Trout. I have to check his contract and see when it expires, because you got to imagine that's part of the calculus, especially with how injury prone Mike Trout has been. As good as he is, one of the best players of this era. It's hard. It would be a hard contract to swallow. He's under contract through 2030, so he's 38 at $35 million a pop. And he has a no trade clause, no opt-outs. So, yeah. I mean, he would be probably good up until like 2027, 2028 when he's 35 or 36. But those last 2 years are going to be a rough pill to swallow for if they do trade him.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it. You said it the best way you could say it.
So now the non-LA teams that were left alone with no Shohei Ohtani. So what do the Cubs, Blue Jays, and Giants do? I'll start with the Cubs, for obvious reasons. It's tough because the Cubs are really, really in on Ohtani, and I'm gonna have to bring up this video now because our guy MJ had a massive. What would she call it? Should we call it like a hurl bomb or a Hurley bomb? Is that what we should call it?
Hurley bomb.
He gave us a massive Hurley bomb on Saturday after Ohtani signed. So let's just play the video first. Because, along with Bruce, he reported that the Cubs had offered Shohei Ohtani $575 million, with incentives to reach $600 million. And according to MJ and Bruce, the Ohtani camp reportedly asked for more than $600 million guaranteed, and the Cubs kind of knew because that was their limit, which honestly I'm okay with.
Yeah.
So then they kind of knew that Shohei was probably going to go elsewhere at that point in time. So yeah, it sucks. But again, I'm happy to not pay near $70 million or even $60 million for Ohtani. 10 for $575 or 12 for $575. That would have been perfect for me if we were going to get Shohei. But yeah, I guess the moves now are they've been linked to a ton of guys. They've been loosely linked with Yamamoto. I don't know how much traction is going to get there. Obviously, they've been heavily linked to Tyler Glass now, so hopefully that trade comes about at some point.
No.
They're still. Oh well, yeah, we'll get into that later.
No.
Wait, what did something happen?
No, I'm saying no to Glass now.
Oh, you're just saying. Oh yeah.
He's a Cardinal. He's a Cardinal.
Oh my god.
He's a Cardinal.
Anyway, so they're still in the running to re-sign Cody Bellinger. They've been linked to Matt Chapman to bring him in at third base. They've been heavily linked to Rhys Hoskins to play first. Robert Stevenson for the bullpen, potentially Josh Hader, since the relationship with Craig Counsell, his relationship with Craig Counsell from their days in Milwaukee. Trying to think of anybody else. They've been linked to Shota in Managa as potential another starting pitcher.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be sneaky. They have been linked to Josh Naylor recently, which
and Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase. Like
no. I respect you, you're a Cubs fan, but I want to see them succeed. I can't do that. I would like Josh Naylor on that team. I think that can be sneaky. Hitting balls to Addison or whatever the street is out there. I forget. I'm sorry, not a Cubs fan.
Is he a lefty or is he a righty? I can't remember.
He's a lefty.
So that's Addison because Waveland is left field.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I was right. Let's go. Okay, anyways, I would not mind seeing Josh Naylor. I like Josh Naylor. He's got energy. His persona in that Cubs clubhouse, especially y'all keep Christopher Morel, I can just imagine that duo being phenomenal. So personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Naylor on the team if I ever had to get. What is that? Anyways, if I had to ever get a Cubs jersey, which I wouldn't ever, like never ever.
I would get it as a gift for your parents or something.
I would not give my dad a Josh Naylor jersey. I would get my dad like a Dansby Swanson jersey.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyways, case in point, I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Naylor there. Not Rhys Hoskins, but Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah. And then at least I'll talk about the Giants quickly. They've also been linked with Bellinger and Chapman and some other guys, also with Yamamoto. Honestly, outside the Angels, they're the second biggest losing team because now Shohei Ohtani is in their division with their arch rival. So that's going to be rough for them. I don't know if you want to speak brief on whatever the Blue Jays' plans are at this point now that they've lost out on Ohtani and Soto.
I'll speak brief on it because the Blue Jays are relatively quiet, and that's scaring me. The only thing that's really out reported is Cody Bellinger is in Toronto right now. His fiance posted a picture of the tower. You said the name earlier to me, and
CN Tower, yeah.
The CN Tower posted a picture of that on her Instagram story. I think it was yesterday. So Bellinger is in Toronto meeting with the Jays, and frankly enough, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed.
Oh, of course you're not.
Oh my goodness, Jackson. My bad. Let me specify. I'm not opposed. Keeping the whole Cubs by my bias for the Cubs out of it.
Okay.
I'm not opposed because he would be a good fit there.
Okay. Jesus.
Wow. I mean, I should have saw that coming, but just wow. But just hear me out.
Okay.
You can put Bellinger in center field, and that means you don't necessarily have to bring a Kevin Kiermaier back, which love Kevin Kiermaier.
He's basically the same level defender as Kiermaier, but with a bat.
Yep. And then they want to put him at first to let, Vladdy DH. They can do that too. And it's a left-handed swing, and he will complement that lineup very nicely. And he won't be in Chicago. But on the other hand, this is the only reason why I would be okay with him being in Chicago, and me and other Cardinals fans would agree with me. It would be a massive overpay, and then Belginger's going to suck again, and it's going to be okay.
Just had to fit it in there.
It would be an overpay. Regardless of what contract he's going to get, it's probably going to be an overpay unless it's 5 for $120. If he's making more than if he's making more than $20 million a year, it's an overpay. And he's probably going to be making more than $20 million a year.
I would say 25 million plus would be an overpay.
20
if he's making 20, like 22, that's fine.
If it's a penny over 20, it's an overpay.
No, but yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what all these teams do to kind of rebound.
Wait a minute.
What? I haven't got anything from...
BR Walkoff posted a top 10 Shota Imaga landing spots. And it's interesting because the Cubs come in at number 7.
Who's number 1?
The Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Red Sox, Padres are the top 5. Then Giants, Cubs, Blue Jays, Rangers, and Angels come in 6 through 10.
Yeah, so just put all the 3 big market teams at 1, 2, and 3.
The big markets is right at the top.
Okay, so that's just their opinion. That's not based off any actual reporting.
No, it's their opinion. But I won't lie to you because this is what I'm thinking realistically. Of that top 4, 2 of those top 4 will land Yamamoto and Imanaga.
Yeah,
realistically, thinking Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, Red Sox. 2 of those 4 teams will land the Imanaga and Yamamoto.
And even if the team that doesn't land Yamamoto will probably try and get Glass now at some point, or Shane.
And Blake Snell still exists, by the way, just because.
Which is weird. We've never heard anything about Blake Snell.
Exactly. What? He's probably in a lake right now in his canoe, just minding his life. Why is he in a lake in a canoe? I don't know. That's just the first thing that popped in my head. But I'm going with it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to watch. But we have to get into the other massive move that happened that impacted one of our fan bases in TDT Media team with Alex Keeler. Juan Soto is a New York Yankee. It happened. The Yankees gave up a haul to get Juan Soto. Not as big as the Padres did initially, but still a massive haul for Juan Soto. They gave up 4 pitchers, including Michael King and 2 of their top 15 prospects. And they also gave up Kyle Higashioka, who's been with the Yankees organization for 16 years.
16 years.
So talk about making the Dodgers lineup dangerous with Ohtani. The duo of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and that Yankees lineup.
And Alex Verdugo. And
Trent Grisham.
And Anthony Rizzo. And DJ LeMahieu. And Gleyber Day.
And Anthony Volpe.
My hero. And Oswaldo Cabrera is on their bench. And for y'all who don't know this, I love Oswaldo Cabrera. His persona, his personality, he is a utility man. He's funny as can be. For y'all who watch Talking Baseball, Talking Yanks, he yells on there frequently. He's super funny. Great guy. Yankees are scary. But the Yankees gave up any of their good pitching depth. Drew Thorpe is somebody who I wanted the Cardinals to get so desperately bad. He was linked. Their trades, Yankee Cardinals trades were linked for a bit in the trade deadline last year, and Drew Thorpe's name kept floating around. He's going to be a stud. Mm-hmm. He's a middle rotation pitcher at worst. Johnny Brito had a cup of coffee in the majors last year. He will be good. Randy Vasquez, don't know much about him, but he will probably be good as well.
He was the number 13 prospect in the Yankee system.
Michael King is a headliner in a trade only because the Yankees sucked last year and made Michael King start games. Make that make sense. What in the world are we doing? What is Ryan? Oh my God, why I hate Ryan Cashman. Why? I'm wearing a Yankees hat. Yes, I know. Because have to. Need it. But what in the world? Higgy's on 2, and that means Garrett Cole don't got his catcher because that was Garrett Cole's personal catcher last year, basically. Cole's on the mound, Higgy was behind the plate. Their connection was insane, and that just makes me sad. I love the Juan Soto Yankee. People have been saying for years now that at some point it's going to happen, and Juan Soto at this point in his tenure in his baseball career, he's a veteran and he's only 25. A lot of prospects don't even debut until they're 24, 25. He's been in the league since he's like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
This he's entering like his 5th or 6th year of Major League Baseball. What? That's insane. And he's 25.
Yeah, like when
And
did he start? He started in 2018 as a 19-year-old.
He's in his 6th year of baseball. No,
this will be his 7th in 2024.
He's a vet and he's 25. People
He's
retire
like
at this point.
He could play like nearly 20 years.
That's why
in
he's
Major League Baseball.
Ted Williams. That's why he's the modern day Ted Williams. And that's why the Yankees are good. And that's why Trent Grisham is probably going to be a stud, even though he's going to be clean shaven. Because for y'all who don't know, Trent Grisham's got a really good glove. Minus 2019. But we don't have to talk about that. If you know, you know. Which is crazy. What in the world? Why are they...
Yeah, okay. But you also got to remember, Juan Soto's on a 1-year deal. He's a Scott Boras client, so he will head to free agency and test free agency. So it could be all of that for a one and done with Juan Soto if things don't go to plan for the Yankees.
Which Yankees fans do know, and Yankees fans are not okay with it, but they have to be okay with it because it's probably going to happen. Especially the Yankees aren't good this year, which is possible because they are lacking bad in the pitching department.
Yep.
But we have so much more to talk about, so we're going to.
Quickly, I just want to throw out a hot take out there. If the Yankees are under 500 again at the trade deadline, they'll trade Juan Soto.
That's not a hot take. That's like a mildly cool take. That's probably going to happen.
But that would just be insane to think about, right? Like, they just traded all this for a guy just to trade him at the trade deadline?
They're going to get a haul. Especially if a team like San Francisco or something is competing.
Or, hell, even, like...
Tampa Bay!
Tampa Bay. Or, like, I don't even know what the Cardinals system would look like if they're competing at that point and what their DH would look like.
No.
You don't want the Cardinals to get Juan Soto?
No, not at all. Because we're going to fucking give up Nolan Gorman for him, and I don't want that.
Oh, my... Although that's probably fair because I don't think Soto would re-sign even if like the Cardinals made like the NLCS or something. I don't think he would re-sign at that point. I think he's a big market player. He's
a big market player, and San Diego is more of a big market than St. Louis was. Therefore,
yeah, like San Diego's like the biggest small market team. I think that's like the best way to put it. But yeah, like you said earlier,
I would consider Atlanta kind of... No, Atlanta's a big market.
Yeah, Atlanta's in a top 10. They're a top 10, top 5 market.
Yeah.
So, anyway, like you said, we do have a lot more to talk about. You brought it up earlier. Yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez is going to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yes.
Can we just quickly collectively clown on the Reds because initially Ken Rosenthal reported that the Diamondbacks and the Reds were in on him, and I want to say like 10 or 15 minutes later.
10 minutes, 15 minutes later, Ken Rosenthal goes, "My bad, I was wrong."
The Reds are not a finalist for Eduardo Rodriguez.
And then an hour later, he signs with the Diamondbacks. Like within a 2-hour span. Like that's
take
insane.
the L, Reds fans. Take
common
the L
for the Reds. But I do have to say, this is exactly what the Diamondbacks needed. Because what they were missing is they needed another good 2 to 3 caliber level pitcher to slide into that rotation, and a lefty. Eduardo Rodriguez was basically ace in Detroit last year, and Detroit was decent. He had as I mentioned in my article, he had his best year ever last year.
Yep,
which is insane to say. Let me pull up his stats are like insane to look at. So last year in 2023, Eduardo Rodriguez pitched in 26 games to the tune of a 13-9 record, a 3.30 ERA, 143 strikeouts, and 152.2 innings pitched, giving him a wins above replacement of 3.5, with also a 1.153 whip. That's really good. And as I mentioned in my article, this really depends on what the Diamondbacks want to do. Erod can either be the 2 or the 3 behind a Zach Gallen and possibly a Merrill Kelly. So a top 3, in my eyes, he's the 2. He's a bona fide 2.
Yep.
He's a little bit better than Merrill Kelly. And Merrill Kelly as a 3 is so lethal, especially with how good Merrill Kelly was in the playoffs. He has earned himself a solidified middle to higher end on the rotation. So a 1 through 5 of Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez, Merrill Kelly, Brandon Pfaadt, which Bob Nightingale can't spell his last name, and I clowned him on it, and that's okay. I felt really accomplished myself. Like, come on, Bob. You were doing so good, and you do this. And then likely a young gun, Tommy Henry, as their 5. That is an amazing 1 through 4. And their 5 is not bad either. They can rotate a couple different guys into that 5 spot because they got.
And they can make more moves.
They are the kids for a reason. They got young arms. They are. I love it. And I'm going to throw this in here now because it's something I just remembered. Diamondbacks also currently in on JD Martinez / Justin Turner as their DH. And I love both of that. Give me the JD reunion, please. Because for those who forget, JD Martinez started out his tenure in Arizona before going to Detroit. Give me it. Yep. Give me it on a 1-year deal.
Wasn't he because I remember seeing him in a more modern Diamondbacks jersey. Because didn't he play with the Diamondbacks again after Detroit and then head to LA? Or am I okay? I'm misremembering things. Okay,
you're misremembering things, and that's okay. But still, love the signing so much. It's great. Let's go Diamondbacks. The kids are very much playing right now. I love it.
Yeah, it's good times for the Diamondbacks, even though they just saw Shohei Ohtani go to the Dodgers. I feel bad because every signing an NL West team makes or team in the NL makes is gonna be yeah, this is great, but the Dodgers got Shohei Ohtani. I feel I'm gonna be saying that a lot. So we'll talk about a team in the AL that got a player. Then I know you're very happy that they got this player and what you got back, and that's that the Tyler O'Neill is gone. He's been shipped off to the Boston Red Sox to make the swollest outfield in all of baseball.
Yes, you were going to say it. Good job. I was going to mention it. You didn't. So, I love this for a lot of reasons. One, yes, even the ticker says it. I'm happy. I'm great. This was we had too many bats in the outfield. We now have one less bat in the outfield now, and that's good. Tyler O'Neill, otherwise known as Prince of Canada, otherwise known as, I actually can't say that, but for y'all who are on Twitter, you know his other nicknames. He had an amazing 2021 campaign. It was amazing. Won a Gold Glove. I think he's a one-time Gold Glove winner for sure, if not two-time Gold Glover. Should be two-time Gold Glover. He's not. He's a power bat. He's fast. He's swole. He's great. He's amazing. He is a good player. 2022, he was injured. He's still got a little bit of a strikeout issue. Not as bad as it once was, but he swings the bat. And he swings it with a lot of oomph, so he misses sometimes. And that's okay. That's what you get for a caliber player like that. But him and our front office did not get along. He got into beef with John Mozeliak multiple times. John Mozeliak came out during one meetings and said, we are actively shopping Tyler O'Neill. He was gone. All Cardinals fans knew he was gone, and we were okay with that because our outfield at the moment is now it's Lars Nootbaar left, Tommy Edman in center, which I think is interesting, but I was telling my dad yesterday, I love it because Willie McGee is one of our coaches. Willie McGee is an all-time great Cardinal outfielder. Tommy Edman played the position also very well last year. And then we have Jordan Walker in right with Dylan Carlson as our fourth outfielder that can slot into center field if need be. And we still have Alec Burleson as a fifth outfielder / DH bat, which I don't like. I think, and I feel really good about saying this, if we make a move for one more starting pitcher through trades, I can see him being gone, and I personally want him to be gone. Nice guy, like the guy, want him gone. But in return, the Cardinals got two more arms. We got bullpen arm by the name of Ryan Thompson. I think that's his name. I should probably double check. Oh well, I'm just gonna go with it. Who had a cup of coffee with the Red Sox last year. Got kind of lit up and such, but he was good. He was decent. And the Cardinals need another bullpen arm. We need a few more bullpen arms actually, but he will get time in the majors. He can be a mid-tier, mid-range, mid-level bullpen arm like Drew Verhagen was to us last year. And then we got a 20-year-old righty relief pitcher named Victor Arano, who.
Are you sure?
I
got it right here.
wrong.
It's Nick Robertson and Victor Santos.
I'm thinking of the guy from the Nationals, but oh well. I wasn't looking at my sources. I'm just kind of rambling because I'm more focused on that O'Neal's gone. Truthfully, I'm not looking at my sources, guys. Apologies. But truthfully, the case in point is what we got in return isn't that big. Will it help us out in 2024? Yeah, most likely. But it's not that important. What's important is that O'Neal is gone, and he is going okay. As Mosaic said himself, he's probably he'll probably mess around, do really good with Boston, and he'll get an MVP vote because that's what's gonna happen, and that's okay with me. If he turns into a superstar that Cardinals fans know that he can be, cool, great. He didn't have a spot in our team anymore, so R.I.P. Tyler O'Neill, you will be missed. Still a big supporter. Hit moms from Boston to Canada. Yeah. And he's with a team that I can cheer for. And him, Duran, and Yoshida in that outfield is chef's kiss. You cannot go wrong with that. So I'm cool with it. I like it. I actually looked at my sources. Oh well, it is what it is. The names aren't that important to me.
Yeah,
they're pitchers. They're pitchers. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And what does St. Louis need? Pitchers. Don't matter what their names are.
Yeah, if the Red Sox can get anywhere close to like 2021 or like 2022 Tyler O'Neill, they're going to be dangerous in the AL East. Like, yeah, it's going to suck. You have to face Juan Soto, but you're not going to have to face Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani. Like, yeah, I mean, for those who don't remember, in 2021, Tyler O'Neill, 34 home runs, 80 RBIs, 38 watts, had 168 strikeouts. But he hit 286.
He's got an issue.
352 on base, 560 slugging, 148 OPS plus. For those who don't know, OPS plus, like league average, is 100. So he was almost 50 points above average in on base plus slugging. So Tyler O'Neill was really good in 2022 or 2021, and even in 2022. He had 14 home runs, 58 RBIs, 99 OPS plus, slightly below the league average, but I think that had a lot to do. I think you said he was injured that year. I think he was a little injured this year. Yeah, so it'll be good for him to do change of scenery. Like you said, Cardinals get some good pitching, and I think you have something to say since I mentioned earlier that the Red Sox now have like one of the swollest outfields in baseball now.
Oh. Super. They have the slowest outfield in the MLB. Like if you've seen the pictures on Twitter, like there's like a picture of all of them together. They're all ripped. But you know what they don't need in their life? But the rest of that team could definitely use some good old W energy. Now, for those who don't know, W was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Our formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and non-tropics, including the patented neurofactor. W contains no calories, no sugars, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. This outfit's already swole, like really strong. Like they could deadlift me, curl me very easily, and I'm okay with that. If they really want to get stronger, if they really need that, if they want to change up their pre-workout routine, W is the way to go, and W is what they need in their life. Or at least, Chris Sale could use some W in his life. Connor Wong could use some W in his life. But as always, if W interests you or anybody in your family, or your dog, but don't actually give it to your dog. Maybe put it in like his stocking or something because this is coming up. But then you can take it for yourself. You can say the dog got you W. You know, thinking with my head. Use our code Third Down Thursdays for 10% off. Holiday season is fastly approaching. It's December 11th. Christmas is in, not the dogs. Yes, the dogs. Christmas is in like 2 weeks. Maybe you can get it in time. Maybe you can't. Maybe it can be a New Year's gift. Like, come on. You cannot go wrong with W 24/7, 365. It's the way to go. And as always, thank you, W, and you're welcome for giving you the shout out and the love because the main show doesn't do it. Anyways.
Yep. Before we get to your underdogs, I wanted to shout out our guest from last week, Jake Eisenberg. I was just looking through Twitter. The MLB, he quote tweeted an MLB post of the Ohtani calendar in 2024. He'll be the spring training opener against the Padres on February 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be the World Tour in Seoul against the Padres. Obviously, the home opener against the Cardinals on March 28th.
Sadly.
His first career game at Wrigley Field will be April 5th. His first career game ever. It's not ever playing the Cubs because the Cubs were out in LA this year. So it'll be his first time at Wrigley Field.
So what I'm hearing is I'm going to have to make a little trip up to Wrigley.
We're going to have to make a trip.
Yes. I like your thinking. I think there's
maybe
potential.
Credentials.
Give me my credentials, please. Sorry. I can
and then then May 3rd it'll be the battle of the reigning MVPs with Acuna versus Ohtani. Then the Dodgers will be in Yankee Stadium June 7th. Then the Dodgers will host the World Series champion Rangers June 11th. June 21st will be the first regular season game against the Angels at Dodger Stadium. And then the last one, September 3rd, his first regular season game as a visitor in Angels Stadium. So mark your calendars for that. That should be those should also be some great series. I love that they threw in the Wrigley Field there, just because, like, I know it's still historic, and I like to see that the MLB still actually cares about that fact. But
yes.
Anyway, let's get to my favorite non-baseball segment of all time, and that's Size Underdogs. We got Monday Night Football. Let's see. I'm going to put it up here so I actually remember who's playing. Dolphins and Titans. What do we got here? Just before you actually say that, I was confused. I thought it was the Cardinals, even though D-Hop's on the Titans, but he's still in the Cardinals jersey on here. So, but yeah. Anyway, what do we got?
So, first things first, guys. We're not on a dry spell anymore. My Monday Night Football bet from last week, it hit. I should have bet more money on it, but I didn't. That's okay. So we're good. Right away, the vibes are great because I felt really good about last week, and it hit. And honestly, I was looking at this week. I did this bet this morning as I was waiting to go into my stats class. And I'm looking, and I settled on this beautiful parlay. First things first, Derrick Henry, higher than half a rushing receiving touchdown. It's King Henry. He's been on his game recently. He's no longer cold. And it was a spicy bet, which doubles your payout or gets your pay a little more up there. So that was a lock. Raheem Mostert, higher than 55.5 rushing receiving yards. Mostert has found the fountain of youth. Mike McDaniel and that Dolphins offense has turned him into a monster. 55 is honestly a low number, keeping in mind his rushing receiving yards. He'll probably hit anywhere from 65 to 75. Took the higher on that. We're not betting the lower. I learned my lesson. No more betting the lower ever again. I don't care if it doesn't hit.
I just noticed that.
Last week goes all higher too, and it hit last week. So I just have to trust my gut. Only bet the higher. Tyreek Hill, higher than 109.5 rushing receiving yards. Yes, high number, big number. If he's cold, it's only going to be about 80 yards. However, I was looking at what he did the past 3 weeks. He's anywhere from about 108 to 155. And Tyreek Hill knows, Tua knows, Mike McDaniel knows. They want him to break 2,000 receiving yards. They want him to get the record this year. They're going to feed him the ball. Who's on? Iowa alum Desmond King might try locking him up, but it's not going to happen. He's the motherfucking cheetah. He's locked in. Tua, higher than 32.5 passing attempts. They're throwing the ball tonight. Tennessee defense is not that good. Come on. That's a lock. Even though he only threw the ball like 20 times last week, he's going to throw the ball more this week. I got a feeling. And then the last one, because I need to find another Titans player to bet on. And I refuse to bet on Will Levis. I did it once. I didn't go well. You can't. That's like he's on my no bet list. So I was scrolling and I see D Hop higher than 4.5 receptions. He's gotten 5 receptions the past 3 weeks. It's a lock. So that's my parlay for the week. As always, as I tell you every single week, please bet responsibly. Only bet if you're 18 or up. I know it's 19 in some states. I know it's 21 in some states. I know some states don't even allow you to bet. But if you can bet, please bet responsibly. Don't bet a lot of money. Don't go broke. And if call the hotline if you got a problem. If you do have a problem, just don't bet in the first place. It can be addicting. And just bet. Please bet responsibly. Case in point.
Yep. And just to add on to your Tyreek Hill stuff, he needs 519 yards in the last 5 games to hit 2,000 yards. He's at currently 1,481. He also just needs 4 touchdowns to break his career high in touchdowns in a season. Unless something happens with like Dak Prescott or Dak Prescott, I think Tyreek Hill should be the MVP this year in the NFL.
I agree.
I really do. Especially if the Dolphins hold on to the AFC East, which is nuts to think about coming into the season.
I think Daniel, man, he's good.
Good.
I do want to mention something. Going back to the whole where Shohei is going to be playing. So we're going to go into a quick ramble about ESPN. Fuck ESPN. The Soul series is going to be blacked out in LA and San Diego.
What? Why?
Yeah. Local blackout restrictions. Yep.
MLB, you were so close. You were so close.
That's all. So, not just the LA fans can't even watch their guy play. And I think that's hilarious. That's okay.
And San Diego fans can't watch, like, potentially Michael King pitch in that series.
Potentially Michael King. Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, I know Joe Musgrove and maybe Yu Darvish will be ahead of him, but he'd be at least the 2 or 3 in that rotation without Blake Snell.
That's funny.
Oh my god. MLB, come on, bro.
Yep.
All right. Anyway.
Yep.
We got a lot more to get to.
So much more. We're not even close to being done.
Yeah. Hold on. Do you want to start with the bigger stuff or get the smaller stuff out of the way so we can spend more time on the big stuff?
Let's go smaller stuff out of the way first. Let's breeze by the smaller stuff, and then we can end with a couple big things, and then bottom of the ninth.
Okay. So remember that Jared Kelenic was traded to the Braves last week. One of those pieces was Marco Gonzalez. Marco Gonzalez has now been flipped to the Pittsburgh Pirates for cash considerations and a player who is still yet to be named later. We'll see who that player ends up being. No idea yet.
An old friend is back. An old friend is back. Fun fact, I think it's poetic. Marco Gonzalez was originally traded to Seattle for Tyler O'Neill, and now Tyler O'Neill is traded to Boston. It's poetic. We lose a friend, but we gain an old friend back. So I'm okay with it. Continue.
Former Reds utility guy Nick Senzel is going to DC. I think potentially he could be another Jeimer Candelario level trade piece if things go well. He absolutely mashes against lefties. So we'll see how he does in DC after leaving the Reds. I believe he was a former first-round pick, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was. First overall. No, he wasn't first overall.
He was not. I don't think he was first overall. I know he was a first-round pick. But
he was first-round pick, though.
Anyway. Yep. Marlins acquire Christian Bethancourt. We were talking about a pre-show that the Marlins have really been looking to try and improve their catcher play. It was not very good last year with who they had.
Because Nick Forte sucks. He's not a good catcher.
Jacob Stallings, or did he go somewhere else?
I think he was there. He was still there.
Okay. Yeah, he was still there.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, they needed somebody better. And I think if Stallings stays / is still there, I think it'll be a nice little 1-2 punch for catchers for the Marlins this year. Speaking of catchers,
Bethancourt is a switch hitter, so I like it.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little dynamic punch for the Marlins. Speaking of catchers, this is a weird one. Max Stassi got traded from the Angels along with David Fletcher for Evan White and Tyler Thomas. But then Max Stassi gets flipped to the White Sox. I don't know if you have that trade pulled up for what they got. So in the span of like a couple of days, Max Stassi went from an Angel to a Brave, and now he's playing with the White Sox.
Braves legend, by the way. Braves legend.
Just like Bulls legend Carmelo Anthony.
It's Max Stassi to the Braves in exchange for player to be named later. I'm pretty sure cash considerations are also going to the White Sox because Stassi's contract's like $8 million or something.
So the Braves are just getting a player to be named later from the White Sox.
Yes.
Okay. So I mean that's a good one for the White Sox. Yeah. They get someone to mentor Corey Lee. So I think that's a good trade.
I forgot he was there.
Yep, because they sent sent Kendall Graven back to the Astros.
Yep.
So, and I think getting David Fletcher for the Braves side of things, I think that's good. I'm not sure why the Angels traded for Evan White when they already have Logan Shanuel at first base. I don't know if maybe they plan Evan White at DH or if he's just get somebody young. So that was interesting. Tyler Thomas, nothing crazy. But yeah, Max Stassi, I think that's going to be good for the White Sox. And then we got the Sheriff, Mr. Andrew Chafin. He's returning to the Tigers. I believe he's on a 1-year, $4 million deal, if I remember correctly. Right. So that'll be good lefty for them. He was pretty good for them. I wish he would have come back to the Cubs, but he wasn't very good with the Diamondbacks or Brewers last year. So okay with it. And speaking of former Cubs, this is a pretty big one. Jeimer Candelario is now a Cincinnati Red. He is signed there for a 3-year, I believe it was $45 million. Yep. We talked about it pre-show. Cincinnati's infield is crowded as hell. Like, they got so many guys there. Like, tell us like who the Reds have in there and what they're going to have to do to figure out who's going to play where.
All right. So currently, when we look past Jeimer Candelario, they have, I'm about to say a lot of names. Christian Encarnacion Strand, who's
at first
base, they're at first. Jonathan India / Matt McLean at second. Ellie De La Cruz / Noelvi Marte at third. No, not short. Those are the big ones. And now Jeimer's in the mix to play third / first is what's coming out. Some DH time. What the fuck are the Reds doing? Like, simply. There's no other way to put it. What are they doing? You have all this depth. They aren't completely. They don't know if they're going to move India. Of course, the reports in the beginning of the offseason said, "Yep, it's happening." Reports recently said it's not happening. I'm hearing Encarnacion Strand might get moved. They already Spencer Steer, who I forgot to mention, played a lot of infield last year. They're moving him to one of the corner spots full time for 2024. Like, there's so much depth and not enough playing time. And they still got a backup catcher they have to worry about. They still have Tyler Stevenson. Votto's not coming back. Like, what this is making me, it hurts my head to think about. Oh my goodness.
Because let's say, for the sake of the argument, they trade India away. The only way you get all those guys in the lineup is you play Strand at first, you play McLean at second.
Mm-hmm.
You play. Let's see. We'll go.
Marte at short, Ellie at third.
And then you
With
put Candelario as your
Candelario
DH.
DH.
That's an awkward fit. And honestly, wouldn't you rather have McLean at short and Marte at second at that point? Didn't he play a lot of second when he got called up?
McLean, they both played a lot of second. It's
okay. So either way.
Either way, it could be vice versa, but what's making the most sense from what I'm hearing with my sources, it's Twitter. Twitter's my source, guys. But it's just being honest. It's Juan McLean at second, Marte/Ellie at short, with one of them probably playing third.
Yeah, and that's the only way you're gonna, unless you want to put Ellie as your DH and Marte at short and
which
Candelario
is dumb.
at third.
Why would Ellie DH? As an off day for him, maybe. He's too athletic and too strong of an arm to not be playing short or third.
And I know isn't Martese is a pretty solid defender, and I know
Real
McLean
good.
is too.
Real good.
So
and Encarnacion Strand / Candelario would be at least it's average at first.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, unless, yeah, I mean, I guess at that point you would just DH one of Strand or Candelario and have the other play first. It's a mess. Like, and they need starting pitching desperately and pitching, and they're doing this.
And this is with Jonathan India gone. If India gets slot into this mix, it gets a whole bunch more confusing.
Yeah.
David Bell's got decisions to make.
Yep. Yes, he does. But we'll move on. More news. We already have the script leaked for the 2024 season. The Kansas City Royals are going to win the World Series because now they have signed veteran reliever Will Smith. I believe he's been on the World Series winning team 3 years in a row now. He was the Braves in 21. He's with the Astros in 22, and now with the Rangers in 23. So shout out to the Royals fans. Shout out to Jake Eisenberg, who's going to get to cover a World Series this year. We look forward to seeing that. But in all seriousness, this could really be their World Chapman 2.0. I don't know if they're going to get somebody as good as Cole Reagans as they did from the Rangers, but this could be another trade deadline piece. I think the Royals will be better than a 100-loss team, but I'm still expecting somewhere in the realm of like 80 to 90 losses for them this year, even with all the additions they've made this year. But speaking of additions, they might not be done, as they're looking at a lot of starting pitching, including Marcus Stroman, Michael Wacha, Jack Flaherty, and Lucas Giolito. I think what did we say? It was the circle of mid, or what did we say?
It's a whole lot of mid and one slightly above mid with Stroman. We also said the NL Central plus Lucas Giolito.
That's right.
Lucas Giolito played for both the White Sox and the Guardians, which are in the AL Central. So I
forgot he played for the Guardians.
I know. I just thought of one. We got the mid of the Midwest.
Oh, there we go.
That's what we're gonna go with. We got the mid of the Midwest.
The mid of the Midwest. Oh my god, that's perfect.
I'm tweeting that out right now. Actually, hold on. Continue.
Okay.
I'm tweeting this out.
Yeah.
I forget.
So I think that would be good for them. Obviously, Cole Reagans is probably slotted to be their ace, and they do have Nick Anderson as well in that mix. They got a couple other guys. I don't know if Greinke's coming back, but adding a guy like a Stroman, Wacha, or even Flaherty as like your 3, or like Stroman and Wacha would be like your 2 or 3 on that Royal staff. And then I would say Flaherty and Giolito closer to like 3, 4, or 5. So I think, again, raising the floor. We talked about a lot with Jake last week. Raising the floor of the Royals, I think, is what this season needs to be. Is to not be one of the worst teams in baseball. Is to be a competitive team that still is a few pieces away.
They still have Brady Singer as well. They still have They don't have Jordan Lyles anymore. It's really just Cole Reagan's Brady Singer, the only starters they have. I'm gonna double check their baseball reference because now I need to know who they have. But continue.
That's pretty much all I'll just say about that. If you still want to look for that, that's fine. But if not, I'm just gonna move on. Because another former Cub is on the move. Dirty Craig, or as Bryce Harper called him, the garbage man. Which is not an insult. It's probably something like an inside joke between the two of them. But it's just still kind of funny.
You would hope.
Yeah.
If not, that's kind of bad.
So he's going to go to Baltimore. He'll be the stopgap for Felix Bautista, who will be out all of 2024 with Tommy John surgery.
Have starters. Ugh.
Did you find the Royals depth chart?
And it's what am I looking at? So they have Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, the Chad man himself.
Hold on. We
Miles,
just had a report from Buster Olney from ESPN. It's not a signing, but Yoshimbu Yamamoto did meet with the Giants yesterday.
Please.
He met with the San Francisco Giants yesterday.
Just imagine though, Yamamoto versus Ohtani for 10 plus years.
So shout out to Buster Olney. Shout out for that.
He's reliable.
But
there's 3 starters, 4 starters. Chris Bubich, I guess, is a starter, but this is bad. I don't know a lot of these names because Cartwright's injured all 2024, so they won't have him. And a lot of these names I just don't know. So yeah, they need a starter or 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I think Jack Flaherty being in Kansas City would be hilarious, but that's just me. Because it's only the mediocre teams that are looking at Jack Flaherty right now, like Pittsburgh, like Kansas City, literally the only 2 teams I know. But come on, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so they'll be good for them if they can add a guy. Just again, raising the floor, and then good for Baltimore. Get a stopgap option. Obviously, they still have Yennier Cano, but I think with Kai Krimble's experience closing games, I think that's gonna be good for a very, very young team. And hopefully, trade for Dylan Cease or somebody already. Trade for Shane Bieber already, you cowards.
And I would like to add, Yennier Cano last year was so much better than that 8-inning setup role. He was the best setup man last year. That Cano Bautista punch was crazy last year. And truly, Cano Kimbrel duo, it's a little worse. That's still pretty good. Craig Kimbrel is a vet, and there are young guys in the Orioles pen. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good for them. I'm excited to watch that. Speaking of starting pitchers, we'll quickly get into these last 2 before we get into the big stuff. We got the Marlins are listening to offers on their starting pitching. I believe it was Braxton, and a couple other guys. So that should be interesting to see who they move off of. I'm not surprised. The Marlins are like a pitching factory like Cleveland. So if they can get probably some bats or maybe some relief pitching to move off one of their starters, I'm here for it. If you can find the report, I forgot the 3 guys. I think it was Luzardo was one of the other guys that was listed.
Garrett, and
I forgot the 3rd guy.
Me too.
But yeah, so I mean, if the Cubs want to give up some of their relief
6-0.
or starting,
I think it was 6-0 Sanchez. 6-0.
Okay. If one comes give up some of their starting pitching and relief prospects for Luzardo, I'm not going to say no.
I won't say no either if I were you.
So, but speaking of pitchers potentially being traded, or in this case, not traded, I think it was Heyman or Morosi reported that Corbin Burns will be sticking around in Milwaukee. I think this is a mistake unless they trade him at the trade deadline. The relationship is pretty much all but destroyed between the Brewers and Burns with what happened at last year's arbitration hearings. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I honestly, for the sake of the Brewers, they should hope to be below 500 and trade Corbin Burnes for something at the deadline. Although you would get a lot more value for him now, since a team would have it an entire year, if not at least to the trade deadline, to trade him. So Milwaukee doing Milwaukee dumb things.
Shocker.
Poverty franchise. No World Series,
Correct.
no championships, no history.
Chicago
Hanging up
North.
wild card banners in your stadium.
Forgot about that one.
That's the one I always go back to whenever I get trash talk with Brewers fans. Like, oh, the Cubs. Yeah, at least we don't hold wild card banners in our stadium. And we got a World Series flags, and I think we got a few NLCS flags. Like maybe NLCSs we didn't win, but we made it, which is much more impressive than a freaking wild card game that I think they've never won a wild card series, if I remember correctly, or they won once. Like it's sad. But anyway, again, more starting pitching. The Dodgers are now heavily in talks to get Tyler Glasnow from the Rays. No.
You're right.
I'd still hate him to see him go to the Cardinals. I'd still hate him to see him go to the Cardinals, but I think the both of us can collectively say Dodgers, stay the fuck out of this.
There we go. There's his energy.
However, stay the fuck out of here.
In retrospect, a Bueller Glasnow 1-2, I'm intrigued about. But thanks.
Pure baseball, that's a nice 1-2.
Pure baseball.
And
great 1-2.
And if they
Not
can able
baseball,
to extend Glasnow, a 1-2-3 of Ohtani, Bueller, and Glasnow is disgusting.
With Bobby Miller as the 4 and
Dustin May coming back,
5, and Dustin May and Ryan Yarbrough's right now slotted in their starting rotation. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, that's
Ray's
funny because I remember when he was a reliever with the Marlins, which is so funny.
Man, I don't even remember that. Anyways, that's
no. That's case in point. I don't want this to happen. Neither of us want this to happen.
Case in point, no.
And one of the last big, we already talked about Cody Bellinger potentially going to the Blue Jays. His fiance took a picture of the CN Tower while they were there. I think it's probably just a free agency meeting. If he would have signed, I think we'd have heard something by now. So I think he's still keeping his options. I gotta say, outside of the big guys, I feel like we haven't heard a lot about where some of these maybe lesser free agents, like we said, we haven't heard anything about Blake Snell. I mean, outside of the Giants, Blue Jays, and Cubs still being attached to Bellinger, we really haven't heard anything. So, Emily reporters, we need some more stuff. Let's go. MJ, get on the horn.
Yeah, actually, no. At MJ Hurley, can we get some Snell news, please? I know you got sources. Because nobody's talking about Snell. Be the guy to start the snowball effect, please. You did it with Ohtani.
Or maybe Snell. Maybe I do it. Let me reach out to this Blake Snell's agent, figure out what's going on.
Cool, that works too.
All right, and lastly, we already said
just imagine. I can imagine a headline: Beer versus Ivy reporting, not TDT, and maybe TDT, probably TDT, but Beer versus Ivy, us doing some baseball stuff. I like.
Let's see. But yeah, we already said that Shimbu Yamamoto met with the Giants yesterday. He's meeting with the Yankees today. The reports that Hideki Matsui and Masahiro Tanaka were going to be at that meeting are false.
I saw that.
So that's something. And a bunch of teams are still in on Yamamoto as well. Outside of the Giants and Yankees, the Mets are a heavy favorite. I think obviously the Cubs are still in on it. I haven't heard the Cardinals been linked at all as potential. Still?
We have Lars Newbar. Yes, we're linked.
You're going to hold on to that one Instagram story of them golfing for the entire offseason, aren't you?
Yes. Because they both posted it, actually. And their friends and their moms. And as I said weeks ago, their moms are literally best friends. They talk about it frequently. The Cardinals still have the money to go out and get Yamamoto if we want to. We're not out of it.
Nope.
And the Phillies aren't out of it either. And
the Phillies are in on it as well. So
I don't need that in my life, though. No thanks.
Yeah, it's lots of stuff going on. And I was just reading something because we're talking about it. That where is it? Oh, the Bleacher Nation for the Cubs was talking about a potential 3-player deal with the Guardians to I don't know if it was to get Bieber, Clase, and Naylor. Let's see what it says. I just want to read this really quickly. Yeah, I think it was just trying to get Josh Naylor, Emmanuel Clase, and Shane Bieber in one trade. It's no reporting. It's just an idea. But I mean, honestly, as hard as the pills would be to swallow, I would potentially give up a PCA. In that deal,
I would give up PCA too, like a PCA and a mid, and that's one of the pitching prospects for those three. Yeah,
because you get your number 2 starter, your starting first baseman, and your new closer.
Yep.
So
insane
stuff happening.
Always insane stuff happening.
So, but before we get out of here, I forgot to run the other insurance ad earlier.
I didn't want to say anything because I was like, I'm just gonna leave it be.
So let's finish it off with Mr. Card Guy. Sai, fantastic show. Lots going on. Obviously, a bunch of stuff off the top with Ohtani and Soto and Eduardo Rodriguez and Tyler O'Neill.
God.
And it's only December 11th. There's still a ton of free agents out there to be signed. So it should be interesting times. Before we get out of here, we have to promo new show today for TDT Media, the MJ Hurley Show. Should be 5:00 Central Time. I think you're going to be helping behind the scenes with that. Should be a lot of fun.
Starting this week or next week. This first episode was pre-recorded. Sorry, guys. Don't spoil that. But down the line, I think by the looks of it, I will be helping out either on camera or behind the scenes with him. Love MJ. He is my mentor. That is my guy who got me into all of this. So a lot of love for him. Also, I think it's funny. I'm gonna mention this now because I meant to mention it earlier. But halfway through the show, I was taking a sip of my drink. It was soda, and I coughed or something, or I laughed, and I spit it all out. So my desk is really sticky right now. And I think it was in the middle of the Ohtani stuff. It all spit out, and my desk is really sticky. I was cleaning it nonchalantly. I was really hoping you'd run an ad so I can actually have the 30 seconds fully clean it, clean the best I could. So for the viewers who saw that, no, you didn't. I don't think you saw it, so you're laughing. So that's good.
I didn't see it. No.
That's good because it was very obvious that it happened too. But anyways, not the point. We have an editor that'll probably clip it. So yeah, that's fine. The outtakes will enjoy that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah,
that's how we end it.
Yep. All right. That'll do it. We'll have some things to talk about after the show really quickly for next week. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week. We'll see what's going on with everything. We may have a fill-in guest for me. Well, who knows? Because I may or may not be working. But we'll see you all guys next week for another episode of Beer versus Ivy. Hopefully we'll have a lot more signings to talk about instead of just a bunch of one-year deals and trying to fill in some stuff.
Sorry, guys. It's boring. But we also did give you all an hour and a half of content. So I'm are we really sorry? No, we're not. You're welcome. Okay,
yeah, all right.
Sorry. I'm not sorry. This was a good episode. We got to talk about Shohei, even though he wasn't with the Cubs. And we had big names are going off the board. This week is going to be insane. What y'all don't understand, Shohei's off the board. Everything else now falls.
Yep. The floodgates are open. All right. We'll see you guys next week.